Have you ever wondered what it's like staying in a bungalow on the lake on Khao Sok National Park? Well, in today's vlog, you are going to find out. I'll be showing you what we get up to, our accommodation, and also sharing our honest thoughts. This is part 2 of our 3-day trip, so let's get into it. Good morning, Thailand, and hello from Khao Sok. We have woken up in the Smiley Accommodation of Smiley Bungalows tours. We are doing the 3-day 2-night tour, and this is day number 2. So if you've not seen yesterday's vlog, we actually arrived here at the Smiley Accommodation and I showed you around the room. But today on the agenda, we are starting off with some breakfast up at the hut at the top. So we'll be going over there in just a moment. Then we'll be catching the bus over to Cheow Lan Lake. We'll be then getting a longboat on Cheow Lan Lake across to our bungalows on the other side, where we'll be staying there for the night. We'll check in, get ready, and then in the afternoon we can basically do what we want. We can go swimming, just enjoy the views, or you can also go kayaking too. Then after that there are the caves to go and see, and also the limestone formations, before going back on that longboat and watching the sun set. That's weather permitting, and fingers crossed at the moment it doesn't look too bad. However, it may rain a bit later on. And then we head back to the bungalows before getting dinner this evening, and so we'll have to see what that is like. So I'm not sure what the food's going to be like, to be honest. There's no like menu or anything, so it'll be interesting to see if it's like buffet style or whether they just sort of bring stuff out for you. But now it's time to head up to the top and go and grab our breakfast. We've just received our first breakfast of the Smiley tours, and it's not really what we expected that we were going to get, and you didn't actually get the choice either. This is what we got. So melon, pineapple, omelette and toast, and obviously Beth asked for no omelette, but all they've done really is basically just taken the omelette off and left her with everything else. But we'll try this bit of the omelette, because obviously melon, pineapple and bread taste like normal things. It's actually one of the best omelettes that I've had. A bit more seasoning. The other ones usually don't really have that much seasoning, so happy days. Finished our breakfast, headed back to the room, packed, and are now ready to check out at the hut back at the top. But we didn't actually get the greatest night of sleep, so we are feeling a little bit tired this morning, and that is because the curtains don't actually go the whole way across. So you'll see that the curtains only go up to here, so this whole section here is basically just sunlight coming through into the room. So it was really bright this morning, so didn't sleep the best. But we'll be getting a bus now from here across to Cheow Lan Lake. So we've just gone to one of the most busiest 7-Elevens, because basically all of the buses, which you can see here, get dropped off at this 7-Eleven, so the queue is just massive. So we spent 241 baht in there to get some snacks for the next couple of days, which is around £5.50. But we're now going to hop back onto the bus, which will hopefully take us to the lake. Now we've arrived in Khao Sok National Park, and it looks beautiful, so I can't wait to explore it. But we've now just got to wait for basically all of the bus drivers to take us over to the boat, and then it's about an hour boat ride to the cottages. So it's constant transport whilst we are here, but the water is so blue. I don't know whether it's blue because of like minerals or something, but it looks beautiful, so I can't wait to be kayaking on there later on. So a couple of the things that aren't actually included in the ticket price of the Smiley tours includes the boat ride to get to the lake house, and also the admission fee into Khao Sok National Park. So I'm looking forward to getting on this boat because it looks beautiful. It might be just as good as the one that we got in Luang Prabang, if you have seen that. But the prices were 680 in total, so it was 300 each to get on the boat, and then 40 each to actually get into the park. So fairly expensive, but not too bad in the grand scheme of things. But thankfully the weather has kept up at the moment, and we're now going to head our way onto the Smiley boat. To be fair, there's a lot more people actually doing the Smiley tour than I thought. There must have been like 10, maybe 20 buses, and each of the buses had like 15 to 20 people on it. So this boat could be pretty busy, but we'll have to see. We have finally arrived at the Smiley Bungalows. Interesting look, I have to say. So it's got a couple of seats outside and sort of like a canopy thing. Then as you come in, it's very basic. So we've got 3 beds for some reason. Hopefully we've not got anyone joining us a little bit later on. Only USB plug sockets, and that gap there too that you can see underneath is the water. There's no curtains on the back windows, so it's going to be quite bright at night. There is a few curtains though on the front windows, which is good. And then no air conditioning. That is the fan, so that is our air conditioning for the night. And then as you come into the bathroom, it is very basic looking again. So you've got the toilet, the sink, and the mirror with the shower going to the outside. So very interesting looking room. Thankfully we're only here for the one night, but as you come out, it is beautiful. Now take a look at that. So you get canoes and stuff. So you've got our own life jackets and oars, and then you've got the canoe, and then look at how beautiful that view is with the boards that are out there as well. You can sort of like sunbathe in them. I've seen a few people doing that, but it is nice and warm today, which is good news, and hopefully we'll get to see a decent sunset later, but it is quite cloudy, so probably not. But as you can see, I was being battered by the waves as we were going on the boat. There's a funny story from years ago in Mexico where one of our friends did the same. He's at the back of the boat, or the front, I can't remember, and just got absolutely battered by the waves. But we're going to head now for the lunch. We've already seen it. It's like a buffet style lunch, so hopefully the food is going to taste pretty good, and it's meant to be pretty good for vegetarians too, so Beth's happy with that. The food was decent, and I managed to get myself 2 plates too, so I am now full up. And then there was also some fruit at the end where you could get some pineapple and melon. However, the pineapple wasn't really that fresh, so it was quite hard. Not the nicest pineapple which we've had, because we've obviously had quite a lot whilst we've been out here, and they've basically been cut open in front of us, and they taste incredible. But we've just realised we've got no plug either, so we've only got USB sockets, and then that's our light dangling down from the wires. So very sketchy room. This is probably the second worst room we've been in. I think Pat Beng was probably first, and we're a bit worried because it's their 3rd bed here. So if someone else turns up and is lying next to me tonight, I'll be fuming. The plan now though is to get some drone shots, because I believe it's going to look really cool if I fly out and maybe have a look around too. And then after that, hopefully we'll get into the kayak and maybe the water too, because it is boiling in here, especially without any aircon. To be honest though, I don't think anyone else does have aircon. There are nicer rooms further down, but it looked like they were more for families. But I'm sure you can't actually choose which room. We just sort of paid for it, and then you get allocated a room. So I don't think we could have actually bought anything better. But like I said before, it came to 7,355 baht, which is around £166, and that includes everything apart from the transport and the ticket to actually get into the national park, which I was on about earlier. And I've got it wrong actually, the order. So the national park ticket is the thing that's 300, and it's 40 to get the boat across to here. But now it's time to get those drone shots, and let's see how cool this place really looks. The drone shots actually look really cool, so I'm quite happy with those. And now we're going to go for a quick swim in the water, and I think it's quite warm. And there we go, so we've just been for a swim, and it was actually really nice and warm, so definitely recommend jumping in there. We're now going to try and see if we can find a kayak, because basically loads of people have gone out off to that right hand side, because apparently there's like wildlife and stuff. So if we can hopefully get a kayak with our life jackets on, because there's one left over there, then we can go out and maybe see if we can spot any wildlife too. One good thing about the kayaks is that you can literally go wherever you want. So if I wanted to, I could cone kayak over there, So we can go over there. So as long as you know your way back, then it's fine. You've got to get back for 4 p.m. too, because that's when we're going out on our little tour. It's amazing how peaceful it is just kayaking down here. And like all you can hear, if I stop roaring, it's just the animals in the jungle. It's like amazing. It's sort of like a paradise really. It's just like blue water, jungle all around you. It is just amazing. And now we are back. So we've just been for a quick shower, and I hate it. Do you know when your feet like curl because you stood on like a wet floor and of the wet shower? So that wasn't good fun. And they don't have a hairdryer either, so you're gonna have to deal with this hairdo for the rest of the video. But now we are off to Guilin Rock, where apparently you're meant to see some amazing limestone formations, followed by the peaceful diamond cave where we can go in and explore, and apparently it's meant to look amazing too. And then hopefully this evening we'll get to see the sunset on the boat. So let's get going, and hopefully we can have an amazing evening. Just heading over now to the Diamond Cave, which is meant to be full of like bats, stalagmites, stalactites, and also horrific spiders. God, this looks like a bit of a struggle to get through. Beth trying to get through there. There's so many bats and spiders in this cave. The cave was full of tiger spiders and scorpion spiders, all of which were like the size of your hand, which was horrific, but it was quite cute to see some of the bats up on the roof too. And if you shone a light on the bat, it'd start flying around. Obviously didn't really like the light, so that was quite cool to see them flying around above us. The stalagmites and stalactites were really cool to see too, and you weren't actually allowed to touch them, because if you did touch them with your bug spray on or like sun cream or whatever, it'll force them to stop growing, so they take forever to grow too. It's like a very small amount of centimeters per year. And then after that we headed over to Guilin Formation, and that actually looks really, really cool. It was kind of like Halong Bay sort of styles, where you've got all these massive, huge rocks all over the lake, and I have to say the whole of Cheow Lan Lake has been really impressive to see, with all of these massive mountains basically in the water. It's kind of like icebergs, but just huge. It's been crazy to see them all. But now we are back in the room, and as you can see, the lighting's not great. This is literally the only light that we've got in the room right now. So there's very small, tiny lights. The window we tried to close in, it wouldn't actually close. So someone had to come in with a drill because it didn't have a handle and basically pull it with some like paperclip looking thing. I don't even know how he managed to do it in the end, to be honest, but it's closed, and the next people that'll be coming to this room will not be happy with us because it'll be like a sauna in here. For food, it was a buffet style again. So you had the massaman curry, there was some fried chicken, rice, omelettes and much more. Beth had the same stuff in the vegetarian section, however it was obviously with tofu rather than chicken, so she was happy with the food selection too, and it actually tasted pretty good, so we were quite happy with that. But now, as you can see, we are in the room, so we're going to be heading off to bed, as we've got an early start tomorrow morning at 6:40 a.m. as we're going out to try and find some wildlife, maybe an elephant. There was a guy actually that said on the boat that he's been here for 13 years and only seen an elephant once. So if you do manage to see an elephant, that'll be insane, but hopefully we'll see loads of monkeys and other wildlife instead. So if you did enjoy, do make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you're new, and if you want to see part 3 of our Smiley Bungalows tour. And I'll see you all in the next one.